Hey, what's up, guys? If you're called to the mushroom, if you're called to the deep meaning and what the true purpose of this technology is, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe before this video even starts. All right, let's get into it. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Shaman Gabriel. So for today's video, I got a question from, I'll put the name on the screen. I don't know it by heart right now, but this individual asked, what is your experience in negative effects from the trip with mushrooms? And I am currently thinking of doing a retreat in the Netherlands, but since I am somewhat more negative minded, a fearful person, I am worried that it will fuck me up forever. Okay, dude. So I don't mean to laugh at your questions. I laugh because it's a very common feeling. So it's completely normal to have fear that something may happen during the trip. Says that you will probably have a really good journey. Now, it might be a difficult process because the main thing with the mushroom is that it kills the ego, especially when you go deep enough. So it really depends on the retreat you're going to. I'll go through some steps as I answer this question, but that's what the mushroom does. Once you do it properly, it will kill the ego. And that process of the ego unraveling itself is, god damn, that dog, these fucking dogs are so annoying. That process of of the ego being revealed, it draws a lot of anticipation. It creates a lot of energy in the moment, and sometimes it feels like, oh shit, something is about to happen, and you're thinking like, man, is something bad gonna happen? The main thing that you might hear is that people say, wow, they feel like they're gonna die. And it's not an actual death that's gonna happen. Look, you can take, depending on what pharmaceuticals you might be on, you can take up to 100 grams of mushrooms and you will not die. So it really comes down to, now I don't recommend doing that, but no one would be able to take that much. I've done a 20-gram journey and completely fine. The only thing that's died was my ego. So that ego is scared to unmask itself. And the process feels as if, damn, dude, something's happening. Something's gonna happen. I'm kind of nervous. I'm scared. That's why being at a retreat or being around people that can guide you and have been there before is very important, because in those moments, you're gonna be looking at them. And they'll either be, if you're with the wrong people, they'll either be freaking out, which adds to your freak out, or they'll be very grounded and relaxed, which helps you remember, and it reminds you that, okay, everything's okay right now. I'm okay. I'm just having a little freak out. I'm tripping, right? So that's important to know. A way to make sure that you don't have negative side effects is, one, to kind of know the species that you're going into ceremony with. I'm very critical on what's the species, because every species reacts to different people differently. So I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what you're looking to attain or what's really in the way, why you're even looking to do a retreat. But different species react on different psyches differently. Some are very loving and soft. Others are a little more like intense and hard in terms of the truth that they reveal, right? Some work with you and others work just for you. They want to just show you the truth. Now, this might sound esoteric, but that's what it is. So it depends on the psyche of the individual. So when I host retreats for individuals, I make sure I know what they're coming for, what they're ready to release, and how they think. So there must be a good preparation process for that retreat that you're going to. If you're going in the Netherlands, they definitely have some good stuff there. So yeah, that's important. What's the preparation that you're doing? Because you lay the foundation, and whatever you believe will happen and can happen in terms of, how do I say this the right way? The mushroom's never gonna give you what you're not ready for, okay? And So you might have this expectation that something's going to happen, but really maybe nothing happens, right? So this whole fear, this buildup was really nothing to worry about. And that's kind of how it works. It gets at you in the deepest way when you least expect it. And if you're expecting something and you're really antsy about it, then it'll make sure that it protects you. Okay, if you go deep enough, it'll show you this is the power that I am and what I can do and how I can help you. But until you fully let go, it will never go to the depth that it truly can. So really, you'll be in a journey that feels like you're out of control, but your basis is in control still. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just trying to share the words that are coming to my mind. So are you going to get stuck like that? That's a feeling that the ego has, like, holy shit, dude, will I be like this forever? When I take some of my journeyers deep, that's a feeling they fall into of, man, will I stay like this forever? Am I stuck like this? No, you're not. And no, you're not going to go crazy. You won't, let me explain this correctly. After a journey, you're not going to want to turn into a hippie. And you're not going to lose your mind. If you quote unquote lose your mind, then really what you're losing are the aspects of yourself that's held you back, the loops that keep coming up, the parts of yourself that keep you from knowing your true power. And when people say they go crazy, it's because they have an awakening within themselves. They kind of see themselves differently. They finally access different parts of themselves. And when they do that, they see the world around them a little differently. And not in a bad way. They just see more of the truth. The illusion starts to dissipate little by little. So that's the main thing. So what I would say to you is, look, if you're interested, and as well as anyone listening, if you guys are interested in a call to kind of go through a consultation of, what's the best way for me to approach this and how should I be thinking about it, feel free to reach out to me. I put a link to answer his comment. So the comment is in the video that I explained about what you're doing wrong with your psilocybin journey, which I'll put right here on the screen. And feel free to reach out. Like I said, it really depends on the species you go into ceremony with, who you're going into ceremony with, and is that a large group? Is it small? Is it intimate? Who are you journeying with? All of that matters because you become very sensitive in the moment, and someone else's freak out can turn into your freak out. And when someone has a bad trip or negative experiences during the ceremony, what that really means is they're unable to let go. They're unable to let the process happen. So they quote unquote fight with it. And if you find yourself fighting with the mushroom and tussling around and wrestling, you're going to lose. You're always going to win in the end. You're going to go back to normal. You're going to have a great epiphany, but the journey itself will be very rocky. It may be very difficult. So my goal with journeyers is to always make sure that they are going to have the best and the most smooth journey possible. And that truly comes down to their preparation prior, okay? Not just a week beforehand, but how are you really setting up your mind and your internal space a good month, 2 months prior? And what are you really looking to get? Is it very surface level, or can you go a little deeper into yourself and say, okay, well, yeah, I would like to make more money and I'm trying to figure out what's in the way. And then as you sit with that more and more, you may realize like, oh, okay, like I have thoughts within myself that keep coming up that keep me from accessing the true states that I want to experience. And I'm finding that's coming from childhood. So that's something to really think about. What's your preparation like? Who are your guides? What species are you going in with? How deep are you going? And what's the kind of formula for how they approach it? When I do mushroom retreats, I approach the formula very specifically. I won't get into that here, just in case other retreats are listening. I like to keep magic I like to keep the magic. But this is something you can reach out to me about. Feel free. Check out the websites mushroomretreats.world, curementalhealth.org, and mushroomsforaddiction.org. These are all great sites that if you go ahead and put your information in, you can have the opportunity to have a consultation call with an expert. And it's all free. And yeah, man, I hope I answered your question. Don't have any fear. There's nothing to fear. When you go into this space, you realize like, oh my God, I'm learning myself. And I was scared. Why did I have fear? Like, I really believed the propaganda. I really believed that, oh, dude, I'm gonna have a terrible experience because I think negatively, or, you know, I think about the worst thing that could happen. That's okay. That's the point of going into the ceremony, because you'll find that, oh man, these thoughts are irrelevant. That would be the biggest eye-opening experience of having the biggest fears and then going into it and seeing how that unfolds and what comes out of it. You may realize like, wow, dude, there was nothing to fear with this. So there's nothing to fear with X, Y, and Z. And like I said, when you go deep enough, it feels like your ego is going to die. And the main purpose of this is to help you feel, how do I put this lightly? To help you feel your demise, your death, before death even happens. Because in that space you realize, wow, this was nothing. And that means death is nothing. It might just be an illusion, right? Where do we go when we sleep? Is that not what happens when we die? And we're making up all these stories that make it seem so much worse and scary. And that applies directly to the thought processing. So like if you went into a journey with me, that's where I would be personally holding space for on the back end, to help you experience and go through your freak out and let you go through the process so you can come out the other side and be like, oh my God, this is incredible. I don't have any words for this. I don't know how deep and what this is gonna do for me practically, but in this moment it feels so deeply profound that I'm just excited to see what unfolds from it. And the only thing that changes is how you think, and it doesn't change in a bad way that means you go crazy in the world. It means you're able to process differently. You're able to gather more data and see things with a different set of eyes, with a deeper wisdom, if you will. And you're still always able to wear the mask. That's the beauty of the mushroom. Unlike other psychedelics that, you know, you start taking things and you can really tell that, damn, this person's like going crazy. They're walking around barefoot. They're doing like X, Y, Z. They're not wearing deodorant. No offense to anyone who doesn't wear deodorant out there, but I'm just saying, you wear the mask. If you saw me on the street in this moment, you wouldn't even realize that I am a mushroom shaman, that I go deep on this medicine, and I really commend the work of it. But I just, the journey of going crazy, it's like a 180, where what you are right now, you start to turn into the complete other side, which is the 180, but then you do the full 360 and you come back to who you are, but you're completely different. And that's the beauty of really going on the journey the proper way. And that doesn't just happen from one experience. You might do this and you might feel called to it after that experience, and then that's when the journey starts to unfold itself. And that whole process, that whole working, is the integration. So my main thing to make sure you have a good experience: preparation. How are you preparing for it? And how are you looking at it before you go into ceremony? So I'll put a link down below to our preparation phase, if you will, our pre-ceremony protocol at Finally Detached. And if that calls to you, first I would say book a call with me. Let's chat. Let's see what the retreat that you're planning to go to is setting stuff up for you. And If they're not, you can always tap into what we created on this end. And I don't know where you're located. If you're located in Netherlands or out there somewhere, that's cool, man. I highly commend it. But if you're close to my area in Asia or Bali or Australia, if you're out here on this side of the world, you may want to tap in on this. You may want to tap in with me. All right, so yeah, dude, cheers. Peace. If anyone else has any questions, just let me know and I'll answer it like this. All right, guys. Blessings. Hello everyone, Shaman Gabriel. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also check out this video right here that YouTube thinks you will really enjoy. Thank you for tuning in.